Hey, good morning, everybody. It is January 10th. It's Friday morning. I just want to welcome you to the 10th day of our series. So we'll start as always, Daily Reflections for Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. And his writing for January 10th starts out with objective reality. It's composed of lighthouse principles that govern human growth and happiness. Natural laws that are woven into the fabric of every civilized society throughout history and comprise the roots of every family and institution that has endured and prospered. The degree to which our mental maps accurately describe this territory does not alter its existence. So this reading really brings three things into the subject matter of the book that I find pretty important. One is objective reality, the other is lighthouse principles, and then whether your or the way we go about our lives maps to those. And so I think objective reality means that it's not subjective, that these are things that are just facts, and if you choose to run your life based on them, you'll probably be better off. This concept of lighthouse principles, I don't know, he probably means something a little more cerebral in this, but there's a great story about, whether you believe we're a lighthouse, what it represents or not, it still is out on a rock, and if you don't want to agree with what a lighthouse is, you can still run aground, or you could believe in what it is and not go aground, and I just think that's kind of what he's trying to say here at the end, and that is, whether your mental maps accurately depict those or not, whether they match, whether the way you believe in life or what you believe in match the reality of the world in front of us or not, doesn't change the reality of the world in front of us. And I think that's a message that is so counterintuitive to what we hear today. We are taught more and more and more that what we think matters more than anything else, what we believe matters most, that we should respect every individual's opinions and thoughts and beliefs, and whether that's true or not is, I kind of agree with that, but that doesn't make it right. That doesn't make them their beliefs better than ours, or just because someone believes in something doesn't make it fact. And I just think there are just fundamental principles in life that if you choose to ignore them, they're going to leave you black and blue from beating yourself against them. But that's kind of goes against what we hear today. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I've just chosen to believe there are fundamental facts out in front of us, and if we want to use them and map our behavior patterns to the facts of life through the last millennia, then we'll have a better life for it. If we choose to ignore it and think we can write our own rules and run our lives the way we want them no matter what, I think we'll get bloodied and bruised by life. All right, we're going with the second reading this morning. Again, it comes from Napoleon Hill's Positive Action Plan. December is Traits of Character. All 31 days are about our character, and what they put in here for today, for the 10th, is this. If you must be deceitful, be sure you never try to deceive your best friend, and that's yourself. A better understanding of what you are, your goals, your dreams, and your aspiration leads you to a better understanding of those around you. It is critical, therefore, that you be honest with yourself at all times. The moment you begin to deceive yourself is the beginning of the decline in your character. It is the beginning of a process of rationalization that permits you to justify unacceptable behavior. Make sure you are a person whom you like, a person of sound character. If you don't like yourself, how can you expect others to like you? Step back and examine your behavior as logically as possible. Ask yourself, am I the kind of person I would like to be with? Developing good character traits is like achieving any other objective. Determine where you wish to be and then develop a plan for getting there. This is a tough one, guys. It causes us to look inside ourselves, and the basic concept here is every lie begins with a lie to yourself. You can't lie outside yourself if you don't lie to yourself, and it's the most dangerous kind of lie. So take a look at yourselves. And it's really easy to start. I don't do things that hurt myself, or yeah, I really don't drink too much, or I'm kind to everybody, or I'm nice to people when I drive, or I don't eat too much, or I eat healthily, or or I work out, or I'm relatively healthy, or in pretty good shape. And these are pretty easy ones for you to get honest with yourself about, and they're the ones I think we tend to begin our lives about. I'm relatively healthy. Is that really true, or is that just a little lie? And what I found in my life, people in my life have gone completely wrong and become totally deceitful people, and people of very poor character, and have had several go into illegal behavior, but you don't do it all at once. You get off track 1 degree, and then that seems okay, so you get off another couple degrees, and that seems okay, and over the course of 10 years, you can be 180 degrees away from what is right, and it can seem perfectly normal and appropriate to you. So that's how little lies to yourself can get you completely at odds with what is right. And you poison your character, I think, a drop or a drip at a time. You poison your own views of yourself one day at a time. So I think that's what this saying is: don't deceive yourself. Are you really the kind of person you would like to be? And if not, you probably have 10 or 20 things you have to change. To be honest, I think most of us do. And you have to choose the 1 or 2 you want to work on. And then maybe next year you work on a couple more. If you try to change 10 or 15 or 20 things about yourself now, I think one, you'll get confused, and the other, you'll get dissatisfied, displeased, and you'll become disillusioned. You'll stop the process. So we all have things to work on, so pick 1 or 2 and work on them and get good at it, and then stay good and take another one 2 months, 6 months, a year from now. But the main thing is, be honest with yourself. And there's a good chance you're probably not at this point. I'm not judging you. I'm the same way. I just think I'm a little more conscious of it now because I've read this stupid book, 5 years in a row. And so I'm honest. I mean, there are things I'd like to work on, and there are things I don't think I'm bad at. There are things I'd like to get better at. So that's really it for this one. Thanks, you guys. All right, so maybe this isn't going to be as rare as I thought, because I have another one from Seth Godin today. So it's going to seem a little weird while I read it, but stick with me. Let's get to the end, because I think there's a point to it. And so what Seth wrote today is patient capital. How long is the long run? If you invest in an education, you expect it to pay off in a decade. Invest in a buy and hold investment, and you probably expect a return within a year. Day trade Bitcoin, and you might be measuring your return over the course of an hour. If you wanted to make a long-term impact on a growing country like India, what would you do? One choice is to invest in the endless emergency of poverty and help people who need help right this second. This is important and life-saving work. Another choice is to put some money into a fast-growing company that's about to go public. And the third option is to invest in an organization that's bringing off-grid solar to isolated villages. In the third case, it's possible that your investment won't pay off for 20 years. But during those 2 decades, you'll notice that a little energy leads to enough productivity to create demand and income that can pay for a little more energy. Home by home, village by village, your small investment begins to compound, because it changes the culture and the tools and the expectations that people have about what's next. A day trader would never take this bet, but a day trader rarely makes an impact. There's a lot of people who can take offense at this passage, so let's try not to do that. This isn't about day traders or Bitcoin or buy and hold. I don't think that's the point here. I think the point is, are we investing for the long term? Are we doing everything for today? Are we doing everything for this hour? Or are we doing something for ourselves, our families, our friends, our nation, our planet? Are we doing things longer term? And I don't really care what your opinion is about what I'm doing. I don't really care what your opinion is about what the country is doing. I mean, that just gets all ugly. I'm just saying, what are you doing? What am I doing? You know, what are we doing as individuals? Are you thinking long term? Are you playing long term? Or is everything you're doing about today, tonight, tomorrow, this weekend? Even for yourself, are you playing the long game for your life, for your kids' life, for your husband or wife's life? And you can think larger too, but typically it's a staircase, in my opinion. It's very hard to play globally long term if you're not doing it very well for yourself or your family or your friends. So anyway, I just thought it was really good. I thought that was thought provoking, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do with this series is let's think differently. Let's talk differently. There's you can feel good. There's a lot of ways to feel good in this society. That's not really what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to help us think differently and really create a better life for ourselves. And a better life next year really starts today. And lots of times people, it's hard to remember that, right? When you have deadlines tonight and tomorrow and this weekend and Monday, it's hard to think about next year, but you have to carve out time. If you don't play the long game never gets any better. Hope this helps you guys. I enjoy doing them. It helps me a lot, so I'm going to keep doing them. So if you would, kick me a comment. Let me know how this is being received out there. Thanks, you guys, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.